Hey guys, I'm Hellhound, and figured I'd go ahead and make a video about a movie I recently saw at the theater. As you may or may not know, I love The Incredibles. I'm a huge fan of this movie. It is one of my favorite animated films of all time. It's easily my favorite Pixar film, probably next to the Toy Story trilogy, which are all great. I love superheroes. I love superhero movies, and Pixar frickin' nailed it with this. This movie is everything that the 2005 Fantastic Four movie should have been. I was so disappointed in that. I mean, I still kind of liked it, despite its flaws. I thought it was kind of a so bad it's good kind of movie. I kind of like Fantastic Four, but this was so much better. This is what it should have been. And yeah, this is a great movie. Great characters, great voice acting, great storyline. Yeah, Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Samuel L. Jackson, Jason Lee, all do really good in their respective roles. Yeah, I love this family. I love these characters. I wanted to see more of them. And when I saw this in the theater in 2004, I fell in love with this movie. I had to see it again and again, and I thought this desperately needs a sequel. This is one of the most sequel-worthy movies I've ever seen. And other Pixar movies are getting a sequel. Toy Story got 2 sequels, and Monsters University got a prequel. Finding Nemo got a sequel. Cars got 2 sequels. I was like, Incredibles needs a sequel more than any of them because I want to see these characters again so bad. We waited 14 years, and finally, recently they released Incredibles Part 2. And was it worth the wait? Hell yeah. I loved it. I really enjoyed that movie. I thought it was a very good sequel, very good follow-up to this one. I didn't like it quite as much as the original. I thought this movie is almost flawless. I thought that I have a few minor issues with this one, but I thought this movie was mostly perfect. And The Incredibles 2 didn't quite live up to it, but it was still very, very good. I'd still say it was excellent. Again, not as good as the first, but very close. Basically, my main beef with it, without giving anything away, without revealing spoilers, was the lame and predictable villain. Now, once again, it is a surprise. It's supposed to be a shocking twist who the villain is. In the first movie, I didn't see it coming. Syndrome, voiced by Jason Lee, was an amazing villain. He was great. In this movie, I already knew who the villain was. Well, actually, no, I thought it was going to be this other guy. There's this one character, he's really overly nice and overly excited about everything. I was like, well, that's the villain. Then I thought, wait a minute, maybe that's a little too predictable. But then my second choice, I was like, oh, no, that's the villain. And sure enough, it was. His or her motivation was lame. The final scene, the big battle was lame. Pretty much everything involving the villain was lame. Especially after the original Incredibles had such a great villain in Syndrome. I was really let down by the villain. But other than that, I have nothing but good things to say about this movie. I love seeing these actors reprise their roles. Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Samuel L. Jackson. They're all great. The only returning cast member was the boy who talked for Dash, the son, who has the super speed. He didn't return. I forget his name. It's a different actor this time. But I believe the girl who talks for Violet was the same. They reprised her role. What was her name? Sarah Vowell, I want to say. Don't quote me on that. I don't know if that's right, but something like that. But yeah, anyway, yeah, the whole family returns. It takes place right where the original left off, when they face the Underminer, which was the cliffhanger in the original. When I first heard this was being made, I kind of wanted it to be like in present time. I kind of wanted 14 years to pass. I wanted the kids to be grown up. I wanted Jack to be a teenager. He's the baby in the first movie. But then I was like, I'm actually glad they followed where the first movie left off, because we got to see exactly what happened right after the first movie ended. You could almost edit the 2 movies together and make one movie. I like movies that directly follow sequels that directly follow the predecessor. So I was like, that was actually a welcome thing for me. At first I was like, I wanted to jump forward a few years, but then I was like, no, I changed my mind. I'm glad it followed the first movie directly. Yeah, Mr. Incredible's back. Yeah, he's got the super strength. His wife, Helen Parr, the Elastigirl, she can stretch. Their daughter Violet can turn invisible into force fields. Dash can run really fast. Jack, their baby. Wow. Oh man, he's got so many powers. He can transform. He can turn into fire. He can grow really large. He can move things with his mind telekinetically. He can multiply into several duplicates. My gosh, he has laser vision. He can go through walls. What can't he do? This baby's more powerful than Superman. I really hope in Incredibles 3, I hope they do take place years in the future, and I want to see him like grown up and really like be able to control his powers. Because in this movie, they didn't know he had powers in the first one. By the way, it showed that he had powers at the very end, but they couldn't really see it. This movie, they finally realized he has powers, which is cool. And yeah, this kid can do anything. It's like, wow, yeah, he could beat Superman, like I said. And I love his fight with a raccoon. Jack fights a raccoon in this movie. It's one of the funniest, most well-animated things I've ever seen. I loved it. Now, one criticism I had about the original movies, I thought it focused a little much on Bob Parr, Mr. Incredible, and we didn't really see the family fight as a team until the very end. And I thought this one looked like, from the trailers, it was going to focus mostly on Elastigirl, voiced by Holly Hunter. It was going to be like all about her, and then we weren't going to see the family again until the end, and the other family's going to stay home. Now, that was kind of true to a point. Elastigirl did do a lot more in this one. She was kind of like the main focus, but I love the scenes with the family at the house. Mr. Incredible's like, he's like Mr. Mom. He's like a superhero version of Mr. Mom. He's like trying to balance being a parent, and he's jealous of his wife because she's doing the hero thing, and that's all he wants to do. And he's trying to help his son with his math homework. He's trying to help his daughter get over a boy who forgot about her, which is another subplot from the first movie carried over to this one brilliantly, I might add. And he's trying to balance all these things. He doesn't realize Jack has powers, all this crazy stuff. He hasn't slept in days. And it was really funny, very cleverly done. Samuel L. Jackson returns as Frozone. They got the ice powers. He's kind of similar to Iceman from X-Men. He's back, and he plays a prominent role. This one is really funny. There's a lot of good jokes in the second movie. I always thought the original movie was a lot more mature, maybe a little darker than all the other Pixar movies. It was the first Pixar movie to get a PG rating. And it was a little, there was a lot of adult content, a lot of things that adults could enjoy in it too. It was mostly a kids movie, but it was made for adults too. And I thought the second movie captured that as well. There's some good jokes, good things for, things for kids and adults alike. A lot of new superheroes. Incredibles 2 is the first time we got to see the Incredibles family fight other superpowered beings, which was cool. We didn't really see much of that. We didn't really see any of that in the first movie, hardly. And that was really cool. There's a lot of more superpowered characters introduced. Again, the villain was just lame and predictable, and just, I don't know, her motivation and her final battle was just really, really underwhelming and generic. I expected better from that, but it's okay. It didn't really take much away from the movie. Overall, I loved seeing these characters again. It was great. Lots of cool, clever little Easter eggs and in-jokes for people who like superheroes and read comic books and stuff. And Pixar did a great job. Brad Bird, who wrote and directed this one, just like the first one, was great again. He returned. He voiced Edna Mode again. She's always a funny character. She was in this one a lot. I really love the movie. Overall, I get both thumbs up. Without spoiling anything, I think that you should go see it, and you really like it too. I think it's a worthy follow-up to the original. If there's anything I left out, I apologize. I'm sure I could talk more and more about it. There's a lot I have to say. It was a great movie. One of my favorite animated movies. It was well worth the 14-year wait. I remember loving the first movie so much, and I knew that it had to have a sequel, and finally they did it. And I'd say overall, it definitely delivered. Aside from the lame villain, everything else was done very well, I think. We did get to see a lot more of the family members. The Incredibles, the namesake of the series. We did get to see a lot more of them fighting side by side as a team. So that was good. It did focus a lot on Elastigirl, but it was all done in a very good way. Very well done. So all in all, I love this movie. I love both movies. I'm totally ready for a part 3. Let's just not wait 14 years again until we get another one. I think they should do it really soon, in the next few years, because this could definitely become a great series. It could definitely be a great trilogy, like Toy Story. I think The Incredibles is the second best thing Pixar's ever done next to Toy Story. One of the best superhero movies ever made. I wish that there's a lot of other superhero movies I wish could be this good. That I had high expectations for, like Fantastic Four, as I mentioned. But I think I just about covered everything. All in all, Incredibles 2, great sequel. Check it out. Alright guys, I'm Hellhound, and join me in the next video where I'm going to talk about the recent Jurassic Park movie, Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom. So, stay tuned for that.